I don't know what you heard about me. Started on the radio, but now I am on TV. No contacts. These big old glasses help me see that I'm a motherfucking king. Well, what do you think? I could go platinum in a month, right?
If your lifeguard duties were as good as your singing, a lot of people would be drowning.
This is Larry King Live. Tonight's guest is a British music executive, television producer and entrepreneur. He is known in the United Kingdom and in the United States for his role as a talent judge on TV shows such as Pop Idol, The X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, and American Idol. He is also the owner of the television production and music publishing house Psycho. Welcome to the show, Simon.
It's a wonder your program is still on the air. The FCC seems to be unaware that the sound waves from your voice make people want to have spontaneous abortions.
You've been involved in charity work for many years. You support children from the Association of Children's Hospices and invite them backstage to the screenings of The X Factor.
When I can, I stop by some of the hospices to visit the children. I speak with them and offer my advice on how to die properly.
What's an example of this?
Take for example, this 12-year-old boy who is dying of cancer. He cries himself to sleep every night because he lost his hair due to chemotherapy, and because he is headed toward the inescapable jaws of death. I remind him that sobbing and weeping is for sissies, and that he needs to accept the fact that his cancer has won, live with it.
That doesn't sound very compassionate.
When I go see these children, it's always the same thing. The simpering whelps all want to know why is this happening to them? I remind them that they have a sickness because they were bad, and honestly, no one will care once they pass on. It isn't like they've left their mark on the world. They've contributed nothing, except perhaps a drain on the electricity from their life support machines.
How do they react when you take them to see Sharon Osbourne?
They get all frightened by the way Sharon kneels down to them and promises them that soon Satan will be sodomizing their souls for all eternity.
You also support animal rights and have appeared in a video for PETA in which you remind drivers of the cruelty to animals that can occur when their pets are locked in cars in the summer.
So far, this entire interview has been a farce. The public is not interested in what I do outside of the programs they watch. Might I suggest we stay on a topic concerning American Idol instead of boring them to death?
Your relationship with fellow judge Paula Abdul had a lot of controversy. What was the true nature of your relationship with her?
Paula Abdul can fuck like a schizophrenic hyena on PCP. There truly is nothing like it. Outside of that, I find her so annoying I'd like to take my testicles and smash them to bits with a Viking warhammer, just so that my brain will focus on something entirely different rather than the sound of her voice.
What sort of criteria do you use to judge contestants on the show?
I can usually tell as soon as they walk in how horrendous they will be. It's a gift of mine. Sometimes, before they even utter a single syllable, I tell them to stop raping my eyeballs and leave at once. But to answer your question, Larry, one thing I notice is their smell.
Their smell? Really?
That is correct. If they smell like feces, then obviously they cannot do much else. How talented can one be if they walk around in their own excrement?
That's a very common trait in people in New York.
Which is precisely why we only do the show as far away from New York as we can, Larry. Another thing I judge contestants on is their faces. If they appear to be afflicted with Treacher-Collins syndrome, they will not become successful because they are so grotesque. No one wants to buy an album from someone who resembles the butt baby of Kermit the Frog and Smeagol from Lord of the Rings.
So we won't be seeing Juliana Wetmore on TRL anytime soon.
People only want to buy beautiful. The ugly is for the internet, where it is free.
Is there a certain sound you look for in a singer?
I pretty much like anyone who does not make me want to impale my ears with rusty coat hanger after it's been used for a back alley abortion. What people do not understand is, we have to sit at a table and listen to all this drimble from autistic hacks who think they sing good in front of their cats. After listening to wave after wave of talentless closet homosexuals, one starts to get impatient.
Who did you like best in the American Idol years?
I didn't have favorites for Idol, but on my other program, I absolutely feel in love with Susan Boyle.
She became quite the sensation.
That would be an understatement. It was as if God put all the beauty and splendor of his kingdom and his love into that voice.
But she wasn't very attractive, so doesn't that go against your ugly rule?
Larry, I make the rules and I can break them as I see fit. Despite the fact she looks more like Peter Boyle after he's been found dead and bloated in a homosexual crack house, her voice is so beautiful.
Simon? Simon.
I apologize, Larry. I was remembering her singing, and it transported me to another place, where angels and rainbows and unicorns were playing in a field full of happy children and Susan Boyle singing throughout. I need a drink of water. I was disappointed that she did not get the Grammy.
Probably because she looks like a Grammy. As in Grandma.
Let's make one thing perfectly clear, Mr. King. If you ever speak ill of Susan Magdalene Boyle ever again in your misbegotten existence, I shall personally rip out your bloody testicles through your rectum and bite them so hard the sky will thunder. Do I make myself impeccably understood?
Yeah, well, if it weren't for us, you'd be speaking Deutsch right now.
Oh please, enough of that dribble. Your country was too fat and lazy to get involved until the Japanese bombed your little resort.
I don't like you, Simon.
I don't like you either. These past few minutes can be compared to a hypothetical experience in which my eyes were sewn open and forced to watch Amy Winehouse peel the scabs off of her own vagina and eat them in a crowd of naked elderly gentlemen giving each other fellatio.
How well did you get along with Randy Jackson?
Who?
Randy Jackson, your fellow host from American Idol.
I don't recall who you are referring to, Larry.
The African-American gentleman with glasses.
Oh, that guy. To be thickly honest, I never understood why he was a judge. Who was he? What did he even contribute?
This is Larry King Live. My guest, Simon Cowell. We will be taking callers after the commercial break.
No, seriously, what did Randy Jackson do?